welcome, audience. You're welcome to your favorite program, La Lumiere and I'll be your host today, Toyin Adisa. Your usual hosts, we are turning the tables on him today. He's going to be my guest, and he's here with his beautiful wife. Hello, Adebimpe. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, can you please tell us a bit about who is Adebimpe Adebola?
Okay, my name is Adebimpe Adebola. Father will always tell us, you can't know this thing if you don't read it. He's always saying it to us. So we all know in my house that you just cannot joke with your education. So that's what, saw me through university, and I came out the best in my class. When I saw my results, I was so excited because in my mind I told myself that I was going to show this man that I can do this thing. And coming out, it was so happy, and that's how it was for all of us. Not even us as a family, because my dad also encouraged people who are outside that you have to get your education, you have to live right. And so that's what I grew up with. And that's the same thing I'm telling my children now. You have to read your books. You have to study very hard. You have to have integrity. You can't afford to lie. You have to say the truth at all times. So
even if it gets you in trouble.
Exactly. Even if I have to beat you for it or scold you for it, it's still better to say the truth and get whatever consequences than lying and hiding the truth.
Then
when you hide the truth,
later,
you will have another lie ready, and you add to the punishment.
That's good.
So I right now I'm married to Mr. Tunde Adebola. We have 3 kids. I have a business, just starting.
That's good.
It's into cake making and catering services. So I have 2 to 3 people working with me right now. So that's where we are now.
Have you always done this?
Oh no. After school, I worked in the bank. Intercontinental Bank then, now Access Bank. I know how to weave. I love working with my hands. Anything that has to do with creating things with your hands, I'm very good at it. So I was confused. I didn't know what to do. So I went into making clothes. I started making shirts, office shirts. I went to learn how to do it. I started it, but it was too boring for me. I wanted something more creative, so I stopped. And later I met an aunt of mine who makes cake, and I also like baking. I love cooking.
You're welcome back to La Lumiere DJ. And if you're just joining us, you've not missed too much, but we're here to get to know Tunde Adebola today.
It feels good to be a guest. It's a good feeling, and even more so because I'm beside my beautiful wife, Adebimpe. I was born in a city in Nigeria called Kaba, to very modest parents, Dr. and Dr. Adebola, Dr. Sunday and Dr. Mrs. Comfort Adebola. My parents were educationists for the most part, and have since retired. I was born first of 4 children, and I had a very beautiful background growing up. I went to very good schools, from primary to secondary to tertiary. So I had a very wonderful time growing up. I did study electrical engineering in school, first degree, in the University of Ilorin in Nigeria at the time, and it was a very good course. I came out with a second-class upper, what you call a second-class upper degree. I got into Lagos, worked for a very good company called Schlumberger Omnes. Schlumberger Omnes is one of the better companies in oil servicing, and they had the branch called Omnes. And I did work there and got very exposed in the industry and learned a lot. But my dream of pursuing the career in North America did not materialize, even though I got myself ready as it was. So from Omnes, I worked in several other IT companies and did very well, rose very rapidly within the industry. But then I was in a company where there was a crisis, and prior to that, I prided myself being a technology person. I did very well technology-wise But the challenge we had in the company was not technology related, it was management. The MD of the company fell out with the chairman, and there was a need to steer the ship, and the responsibility fell on myself and a group of other people. And that's what led me to a consulting firm, Accenture, where I've worked I worked there since the year 2005. And I had a beautiful career in that firm. The first thing I like to say is that depression is a normal, I won't say normal, but it's not as far-fetched as many of us think. In the period that I had depression, I was going to work, I was going to church. I'm saying that deliberately because a lot of people associate stigma with depression, but there's no need. It's an illness just like others that you can come out of. It's not a death sentence, and I felt it was very important to start with that. And that's why I'm very proud to say, yes, I did have it, but that's in my past and not in my present. The reality was that I had a clinical depression. It was a strange experience for me. That was the first time ever. Now, there have been times where, like I said, I didn't want to go to North America, and each time it was like there was a closed door. I would go into a phase of, ooh, so what do I do with my life now? The world has come to an end. I don't have a plan B, etc. But this was the longest stretch of it, and it was, for the most part, it was like my end was definite. But there came a day when, and my wife, credit to my wife supported me through the period. My family also supported me through the period. At some point, I had to travel out of Lagos, where I was based, to another state of the country where my family was based. I met with my younger brother, who's a medical doctor, who referred me to a medical doctor, who gave me, took me through stuff. And, I also met with a family pastor who also spoke to me. So there were different things. But what really brought the change, I won't give to what I did, but it was a day that I watched a program, a church program, and a man of God ministered, and I came to recognize that there was another opportunity for me, and I took it, and I've not looked back since then. And so the reality is that as definite as there was a beginning, there was a definite end. The end was the 5th of August 2016, and I've not looked back since then.
Okay. But I wouldn't say that I knew from the onset that it was depression. Okay. I just felt it was, like you say, midlife crisis. Yeah. And I was just going through the motions. But I noticed one day that I was always angry. And I was lashing out at everybody, the children, my husband. And those things that I was lashing out at years down the line or before that situation were things that I took in their strength. They were not things that were issues. Okay. So I had to sit down and consider the fact that there's something wrong. And I needed to speak up or at least die trying to get out of it. As in, keeping quiet was no longer an option. So there are a lot of people who go through circumstances, situations where they feel they are helpless. Finding one person to talk to is the first step in the right direction. Talking to one person helps. If somebody else sees it from another perspective, even if they can't do anything to help you, saying a word of prayer with you goes a long way to helping your situation. So what else did you do? Did you maybe read books?
So one thing that's associated with depression is a feeling of helplessness, of hopelessness, which makes you think the end has come. There was another point where I was attending a church called Daystar Christian Center in Nigeria at the time, and the senior pastor of the church would minister, Sam Adebimpe would preach on a number of things. He spoke in April on a topic called the battlefield, right? And he talked extensively about how our minds can be corrupted by the devil and all other things. And as much as I enjoyed that message, I listened to that message quite a number of times, but each time I was like, oh, this would have been good, but it's too late. So there's that feeling of the end, and it's wrong. But you know what I find out? Depression is not localized to any environment. It's everywhere. I find out that, for instance, it's the 4th or so highest cause of death across the world, particularly in North America. And that came as a surprise because many people who grew up in developing countries like I did, we look at countries like America, Canada, where you think everything is rosy.
Nice.
Depression is not a function of the material things around you. It's a lie. And when that lie is sold to you, you buy it, and through that lie, it gets access. So you find somebody who appears to have it all, still becoming a victim. At the age of 40, I had my own house. At the age of 40, I was happily married. I had a wife. I had children. I had things that many people would look up to. And in spite of all this, I still bought a lie. Interesting.
You're welcome back to La Lumiere DJ, and this is our final segment where I'm going to be asking my guests what they want to be remembered for.
Of late, I've been getting information about the woman that we all know, Mother Teresa, and I see that she made a lot of sacrifices for even people who cannot help themselves, and up till today, we still remember her. That's the kind of life that I want to live. Help people. I want, I have this picture of me getting to heaven and seeing people lining up and saying, thank you for paying my school fees. Thank you for giving me education. Thank you for training me. All those people who are less privileged, who by their own, they will not be able to do something. Then you are coming in, helping them, giving meaning to other people's life, helping them to fulfill their own destiny.
What about you, Tunde?
I recently have become very clear about my mission. I am a consultant, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an apostle of the marketplace, as I said earlier. But of all things, what I like to be remembered for is that I reintroduced Jesus Christ in this dispensation. I respect a lot of men of God, but my ultimate role model is Jesus Christ, and he's the one I patterned my life with. So I would like to be remembered as the man who reminded the world of who Jesus was. I like to be remembered as the man who showed life. That's because the very things that intimidated me in the past have now become my opportunities.
We're going to give you this. We took a shot of you while we were having the program.
Okay.
And that's going to be for you. Thanks for coming.
You.
And Tunde, even though you are our host usually, we are going to give you a gift today. I want a handshake.
This is the first gift I'll be getting from La Lumiere DJ, so it's welcome.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you very much. This is good. This is beautiful. And because I am used to giving gifts, I'll give you a gift as well. So I have a gift of my own. This is your first time of anchoring this. This is the first time I will ask any other person to anchor it, and you've done an excellent job. So to remind you of what you've done, that's for you.
We look forward to seeing you at another program, and we wanted to say keep shining. Thank you.